fellow plant people and fellow gardening friends. My name is Jen. I go by the Leafy Geek here and also on Instagram. And I'm going to do another seed haul for you today. I just thought it would be a fun idea to share some of this with you because gardening is something that I do. It's a big part of my year, and it's something that I've gotten a lot of joy from just over the past several years. It's really something that I look forward to every year, and I think this is kind of a wonderful platform both for learning. A lot of the people that I follow who garden on here, I've learned so much from, and just sharing. And I love seeing what people are growing and what they're planning on growing and what their garden plans look like, and it's just the most exciting thing to me. So sorry if it's not your cup of tea. There will be houseplant content on this channel, but you know, it's right now my focus is on planning for this garden. And I got some really cool seeds today. I ordered from Baker Creek. They are a seed company, an heirloom seed company in Mansfield, Missouri. And my order got here today. So I'm going to share with you some really cool varieties of veggies and one flower. My big flower order is from Florette Flower Farm. That's my big dog safe flower garden plan. A lot of my flowers are coming from Florette, so I'll be sure to share that as well. That will probably be the last one that you'll have to deal with, at least for now. No, I have too many seeds already that, you know, I'm probably not even going to be able to grow everything this year because A, I don't have space, and B, I'm not entirely sure what's going to germinate, and C, 3, I don't know if I have the energy to grow every single thing that I got this year. But that's the beauty of seed starting and seed saving, is that you can store seeds and they will last a very long time if you store them correctly under the right conditions. So varieties I don't grow this year, I'll have them for next year. So as I said, I purchased quite a few varieties of veggies and one flower from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. And yeah, I'm really excited. What's neat about this company is that, so I placed 2 orders and they ended up being separate orders because of course I had originally kind of plotted out what I was looking for and picked those up right away. And as I was looking on their website, I was like, ooh, do I want that? And there were just other things that stuck out to me as being potential, and I didn't get them in that moment, and then immediately regretted it. So went back and did another order. But the beauty with Baker Creek is that they include a free kind of mystery surprise seed packet for you with your orders, which I thought was really cool. So I did get a couple of neat little bonuses in this order, which I will show you. But let's get started with the one flower that I ended up picking up, and that is a pansy. And all of the packets, well, most of the packets, I should say, look like this, with a really pretty photograph of the plant on it. And they, of course, on the back have instructions for growing, all the information you might need, as well as just kind of like the pack number and the lot number and everything like that. But really good instructions on here. And yeah, each one comes with that. So this variety of pansy or viola is called the Lake of Thun. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. This is a pansy that matures in 60 to 85 days. It's also known as Ullswater. And it's just this very deep, deep, dark blue purple. I'm really excited about this color. I realized that I didn't have a lot of dark or deep colors. It seems like my flower garden is going to be quite English cottage in the spring, so very like soft pastel pinks, purples, whites. And then toward the summer, I'm shifting toward some bolder, brighter, kind of warmer colors. But I was looking, you know, for more kind of deep, kind of complementary pinks and purples that were a little bit darker. to contrast with some of that softness in the spring. And I think this pansy is going to be an awesome addition in there. Just little pops of this purple is really going to stand out. So that's exciting. Lake of Tune pansy. I'll show you the free ones next. So these both, like, I got one package in each order. They're free. The first one I got, which is so cool, it's a kale variety. It's called Russian Red, also known as Ragged Jack. And this is a 50-day kale. I've heard this one, I've actually been looking at this and kind of weighing my options for kale on a different seed order from a different company. But this particular one I kind of steered away from because they said it's not very edible as it matures. So I, being the person who tends to let crops go kind of late, I didn't know if this was going to be the variety of kale for me. But if anything, like, it could be a really beautiful ornamental kale in my flower garden as well. So if it gets a little bit mature, if I want to let some varieties or some plants go and mature out, then those would be pretty in that flower garden. But this says that they are especially well suited to baby greens. So if you harvest them young, they're probably a lot more tender than when they mature. So what a cool variety. And this is very frost hardy, it says as well. So up in my neck of the woods, frost hardy is a big, big plus. And then the other free seed that I got is a lettuce variety. It's Rouge d'hiver, red of winter, is how that translates from French. So this is a lettuce variety, and this one, it's a French heirloom. Cool. I missed that part. So yeah, it's a romaine variety, and it's a very hardy, cold crop. It says cold actually intensifies the red color on this one. So that is pretty cool. Another frost hardy plant that, yeah, I'm all about frost hardy here. And you can grow this either as baby greens, or you can space it apart and thin them out, and the lettuce will develop heads of lettuce. So that's exciting. So Rouge d'hiver. I do speak French, but I don't have good pronunciation. It's at least better than my Italian. Next one up is a collard green. I have never grown collards. I've grown kale. I've tried to grow cabbage, and we're gonna try again this year. But I've never grown this type of brassica. So I am happy to pick one of these up. Really, I think that this is going to be, I would say, fairly average in terms of how it will grow up here. If it's a cool weather crop, definitely before the hottest part of the season. So I'll probably plant it fairly early, probably with my kale for a spring, early summer crop. And then maybe I can even try for a fall as well, depending on how long this takes to mature, which that I'm not entirely sure about. I'll have to look into that and see kind of what collards do, how long they take. If they're anything like kale, where they're just kind of a plant that you can harvest from the full season, from the same plant, that would be cool. But I think that this is going to be really intriguing, and I am always looking to grow more greens. I really like having kind of green leafy vegetables to choose from, and I am a big consumer of those, so I think this will be a fun thing to try. So this is the Morris Heading collards. So the next one looks a little bit different. This is the only seed packet that came packaged like this, and not really sure why, if it was just the quantity or they ran out of packaging for this particular variety of veggie. This is the Super Schmelz, or the giant white kohlrabi. So every single year since I've started a vegetable garden, I have grown kohlrabi in it, and there is a very family-related specific reason for that. My family, at least my mom's side of the family, are very, very German, and they like themselves some kohlrabi. So we, over the course of our gardening experience, have found there are certain varieties that grow very, very large, so you can grow fewer plants, but you still have quite a bit of veggie to harvest. So we found that there are some varieties, I think we grew Cossack kohlrabi last year, that grow very, very large. They're the giant sized kohlrabi, but then they retain that like tenderness. They don't become tough or woody, and they're very, very sweet, even as they grow large. So that is kind of what we were looking for this one, and that is the Super Schmelz. So this is a German heirloom of kohlrabi, so that's pretty cool. And I don't know if any of you guys don't know what kohlrabi is or haven't had it before. It's a member of the cabbage family, so it is, how do you describe it? It's kind of got the taste cross of cabbage and like a carrot, or I guess like a broccoli stem, something like that. But they're these bulbs that grow above the soil, and then they have leaves that kind of sprout out of the top that can get quite large and fan out. But then the vegetable it bulbs out right above the soil, and the whole plant is edible. So leaves, stalks, tuber, or bulb, I guess. Whole thing is edible. So you can cook kohlrabi leaves like you do collard greens or kale or anything like that. But as I mentioned, it's a huge staple for my family in the summer. It's great just sliced. You can cook it, but we tend to prefer it raw, and we just cut it into chunks and we just eat it. Sometimes eat it straight out of the garden. Slice it up, put it in salads, eat it on its own. It's delicious. It's really, really good. It's really good roasted, actually. I've had it roasted before, and that was delicious. So this is the Super Schmelz, or giant white kohlrabi. Unfortunately, there's no picture, but it's gonna be really good. So these next two are pretty cool. I'm excited about both. I have accumulated a few eggplant varieties over my seed purchasing adventures this season. So of course I had to pick up an eggplant. So this is the Chinese string eggplant. And this one, I've heard it's a very high yielding plant. It produces fruit that's about 10 to 12 inches long, super skinny, really tender. You can grill them or cook them, or eat them whole. You don't have to cut them up. The skin is super tender. And yeah, I'm excited about this. They say that it's not bitter, and it just cooks really well. So I will be excited to see how this does up here. So that is the Chinese string eggplant. And then this one I'm really excited for, you guys. So this, I have grown okra before, but I have not ever seen this type of okra before. So this is known as Okinawa pink okra. It's not actually a true okra, but they do produce these ornamental seed pods that are also edible. So this can be either an ornamental plant, or it can, be used as a food crop. The pods are edible, and they're this really delightful pink color, the skin is. So I'm really excited to grow this. I have grown okra successfully in my garden the past few years, and I actually last year grew okra from seed, so that was exciting. So I know I can do this. I know how to grow okra from seed. I'm just really excited to try this one. This is one of the plants that could probably even also go in my flower bed if I so wanted, or if I wanted to free up some room in my veggie plot for other things. But this looks like so much fun, you guys. I'm probably the most excited about this plant from this whole order. And I still have some good ones coming up. So this is the Okinawa pink okra. All right, I'm going to show you the tomatoes. I did get a few tomato varieties. I'm already kind of getting up there with the tomatoes. I know tomatoes they're a gardener's staple, and we all want to grow as many cool tomato varieties as we can, or at least try. So that's the goal. I already have quite a few. So gonna have to pick maybe a couple, and then try a couple next year, or we'll see how these ones do. But so from Baker Creek, I got 3 tomato varieties. So the first one I'm going to show you is called the Aunt Ruby's German Green. So this is a German heirloom tomato, and it is a beefsteak that retains this green color. It does not ripen to red. It stays green. And it's a strong, sweet, fruity flavor with this brilliant neon green flesh. I'm reading from the back of the packet if you can't tell. But yeah, super excited about that. I love green tomatoes. I love, cooking with them, frying them. But I think it's going to be really neat to have this green tomato and then just have that surprise that, like, it's ripe, it's sweet, it's ready, to be eaten, but it doesn't look like it. So I kind of love that mind game that it's going to play. So yeah. Aunt Ruby's German Green is the first one I picked up. The next one, this one looks really weird, you guys. So this is the orange accordion tomato. So this, I don't know, you guys. This is a little bit intimidating, this one. They get really big, and they just look really fun and weird. That I think they're aptly named, for sure. All of these tomatoes kind of have the same, starting, times and kind of needs for starting indoors. So we'll give that a go. But this looks really, really cool. I am really jazzed to try this one. Yeah, it says each of these can easily reach 20 ounces. And again, they look just really awesome. It's a good slicing tomato, it says, and you could probably stuff these and cook them whole with stuffing in them. And they'll be this beautiful orange. I saw this one and I was like, I cannot not get it. And then the last tomato that I got from Baker Creek, I am probably the most excited about this one. This is the orange peach tomato. So these little beauties really do masquerade as peaches. They're basically, it's an imitation peach, they refer to them as. So they even have that like light fuzz on the skin, just like a peach would. And then, obviously inside looks a lot, it looks pretty tomatoey once you slice into them, but growing on the vine, they are supposed to look very much like a peach. And they're very sweet. Very sweet. They grow, what did they say? It doesn't really say on the packet, but I think I read they grow either from golf ball to like, not baseball size, smaller than baseball, tennis ball maybe. So they stay quite compact, quite small. All of these tomato varieties that I got are indeterminate tomatoes also. I did look that up. But this one I'm really excited for. Again, that mind trip. Like, is it a peach? Is it a tomato? Is it the best of both? Probably. This one I think I'm definitely going to try this year. This is a contender for when I bought it. I was like, yes, that is one I am going to grow this year, 2021. So that is the orange peach. And then the last seeds that I purchased from Baker Creek are strawberries. I got a couple of strawberry varieties. They're not any strawberries though. They're not like your supermarket type variety. They are alpine strawberries. So I was so excited to find these. They're also referred to as wild strawberries, but alpine. These two varieties are commonly found in Europe, as opposed to North America, where we do have wild strawberries as well. But these two varieties are known to Europe. So I am expanding into fruit a little bit. Last year I planted 2 top hat blueberries that I got from Logie's, 2 blueberry bushes, as well as some Arctic raspberries, also from Logie's. And I went with those specific varieties because they are hardy through, I think, even a zone or 2 above my zone, which is 4B. So they grow in basically the tundra, literally the tundra, like zones. I think the raspberries are hardy through zone 2. And like, we need that up here. So those will hopefully come back and produce this year because I did get them in the ground. They're overwintering. I'm excited to see what they do, but I also wanted strawberries. And I've grown kind of traditional strawberry varieties before, long, long time ago. Probably when I was even a kid or in high school, we had strawberries at my house growing up. But these ones are ideal because they're compact, they're low to the ground, they're good ground cover, they're small, but they're not, at least from what I've read, these aren't going to be as small as like a typical wild strawberry, which tend to be very, quite noticeably smaller than a supermarket strawberry variety. So prolific is what I've also heard about both of these. So I've got a white one. This is a White Soul strawberry variety. And then the Regina. So a red and a white. And I will be able to sow these. I'm thinking about growing them in planter boxes on my chain link fence that I'm going to rig up. And I'm also thinking about growing them in a couple other spots that are kind of small, and there's not a lot you could really fit there, but something cool and sprawly could grow there, and that's what I'm thinking I'm going to be using these for. And they're strawberries. You can't go wrong with strawberries. So I'm going to try both of those this year. That is it. That's all from me today. So thank you for coming along on yet another seed haul. Like I said, I think I just have one or two more orders that are yet to arrive but are on their way. And I think what I'm also going to do is I'd like to do a video where I kind of sketch out where some of these things are going. So having like the seed packet and then, drawing kind of a map of the garden and kind of highlighting where these things are going to go and where I'm planning to put them. So if you like that idea, let me know in the comments, or just feel free to share whatever you are planning with your own gardens this year. I'm really into learning about what everybody's doing and what ideas people have, and I love getting inspiration that way too. So if you feel like sharing, please do. I'd love to hear from you. But that is all for today, you guys. So until next time, enjoy your plants and happy gardening.